Hello. Oh, wow. Like, look, seriously, just because I gotta close the blinds a little bit. It isn't even really sunny. It's just the angle of the blinds. It's actually raining, so you know how that goes. Um, when it's raining, the barometric pressure changes, and voila, I get sick. Um, I'm like one of those people who's like, I know it's gonna rain because my knee hurts, and I'm like, it's the barometric pressure. My body responds. Um, Not very nicely either. Chat, live chat. Okay, been gone a minute because my little man had spring break. Well, both my kids had spring break, but the older one, because he's a teenager, had lots of plans. And so I made a lot of plans for the little one. And when I tell you, he was like, "Oh my God, I have enjoyed spring break." So he was so cute, so sweet. He loved all of it. So, anyways, I'm back. Okay, whatever. That's where it goes. It stays. All right, guys. So we're gonna do a check-in because I'm sure there's a lot to check in about. I'm sure whatever message needs to come forward that's been waiting to come forward is gonna take precedent, and voila. So, all right. Um, it's choking me. Here's my spiel. You are a sovereign being of your life. You get to determine if, how, when, where, why any of these messages might apply. My recommendation is to never Cinderella shit to make it fit. I did not come into this. I was being I definitely felt the pull and the put like the push, to do a reading, but I got nothing leading up to it. Other than I do feel energy around this week. This week. So, um okay, so we're just gonna start. I definitely feel something. Madame Dora's fortune telling deck. I was like, oh, sorry guys. I have some. I had a big thing of iced coffee and then it got down low. And so I poured it into a smaller cup. And then I brought my water to go with it. And I was like, where's my cup? Because, I gotta enjoy it to the last little drippy, drippy drop. I don't know why it's got me so washed out, but it's when I pull up the regular camera to record, it doesn't do that. It's just YouTube. So, okay, though. Pasty pale. That's what I look like. Oh, it landed on my coffee. Fate has blocked this path for you, but I feel like this is a positive thing. They're definitely pulling in a little bit of, okay, rejuvenation and fulfillment right here. And then we have true love and fidelity on the bottom. Okay, I was like, do I pull it? If it comes out, they said no. Hold on. If it comes out, obviously, but I am supposed to get a third card. You're destined to succeed. There's a lot here. We'll look at this. Be meticulous and patient. Revelry and indulgent. Forces beyond your control intervene. This came out a second time. Seek wisdom and guidance. You're safe from harm. They're bringing me more to the oracle versus seek wisdom and guidance. Because I actually feel like saying not to necessarily. Like, this isn't the kind where you go to the elder in your community or in your life or whatever. But Oracle. Oracle feels a little more like I feel like this is a side note over here, okay? Here's the thing. Um, somebody is on a detour that will be faster than the original route is what they're giving me. So you may have felt like you were on a particular trajectory and seeing yourself going in a particular trajectory and seeing things unfolding in a certain way. Um, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, like you had just been blocked from moving forward like that. You're being pivoted because something has developed within that path that they want to kind of like circumvent and take you around. So it's almost like a detail of how you're going to be moving forward is changing, which is probably the reason why you feel like something's hindering you right now, but it's really not. It's just that what you could visibly like. I feel like you knew. Like there's something that's what the oracle is. I feel like this is more like either your intuition, your spiritual gifts, or the gifts of others. I do feel like this is kind of like downloads, um, an oracle, whether that's you or somebody else in your life, will help pivot you. Okay, um, you'll be able to get answers that way. But don't rely on like face value things, like like your mind making an assessment of something. Um, so fate has blocked this path for you, and you're getting a workaround. Again, there's something on that particular path that would be like an obstacle to, and so I just see a detour. Um Rejuvenation and fulfillment is the overall energy. We do have you are going to succeed. So it's one of those things where I feel like the overall energy is focusing on rejuvenating and doing things that are fulfilling and really like fun and enjoyment and pleasure and things like that. Um, they're showing me something like a scenario, and this is supposed to be kind of like a an analogy, so to speak, where it's like let's say that you were going to move and you had a particular place. But if and so you're kind of like, "Oh, I know exactly what's happening. I know how I'm gonna do it. I know how I'm gonna move forward." But something has happened there that you are unaware of. And so if you uproot yourself and go there and you get there, it's almost as if it's like, and you find out once you're there, it derails the situation a bit because now you have to restart and find all kinds, like find a new place. Like let's say something happens to the place you're supposed to be at. Um, and so it really actually slows your path down. And so you kind of knew what was supposed to happen. And they're kind of like, we're going to switch things around just a little bit. Um, so that there really isn't a hindrance. But to you, it looks like a hindrance because you're kind of like, wait a minute, I thought X, Y, and Z was going to happen. Why are we suddenly not? And you find yourself like feeling like you're in the same place. They're just kind of like saying, hey, and I get that from the cards over here. Um, the name of the game is joy, fun, rejuvenation, fulfillment. Okay. So that means the path you're taking, the means to get there, all of that should fall under this. You know, the experience is supposed to be rejuvenating and fulfilling, not more of the same. So something has changed. You are still going to end up, but it's almost like let's say something happened with they've delayed you by like a week from leaving in enough time for you to find out that, oh, there's a hiccup or an issue with where I was going to go and it's no longer available. Instead of leaving you scrounging, trying to figure something out and maybe grasping at whatever you can as quick as possible so you have somewhere to stay, you now can stay where you're at for another 3 weeks while you figure it out and then you can go kind of thing. Like it keeps they're showing me a train chugging along. Okay. So everything's going to be successful. There are a couple elements that are being changed. That's not something to be concerned with. It's actually not a hindrance because they've got a workaround for you. Now, this is kind of like being meticulous is and patient isn't the sense of like how long something just being in the flow is what it's trying to tell you. Like be in the flow. If something has a hiccup and you have to kind of like the little details just a little bit, that's fine. Things are still going to go ultimately the way that you are wanting them to. It's just the little tiny details. And that's what a web is. It's like all the little details about something. Oh, the webs we weave, you know? Hold on. I gotta sneeze. Barometric pressure. Um, oh god. It is like tornado season and things like that where we're at. So lovely. You ever walk through a cobweb and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna sneeze like 10 times, guys. Or I tend to. So you're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and, like, the very next morning, the spider has the web already reweaved or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, it's fine. That's kinda like what it is. It's like, this really first glance, it looks like it's a delay. It is not, because, like chess, like, if a certain move doesn't work, we've got 10 in our pocket kinda thing. It's just something that you weren't aware was gonna happen, and so there's a switch up. In the meantime, while you are waiting to see, okay, how are you pivoting me? Revelry and indulgence. The name of the game is rejuvenation and fulfillment. You are supposed to be doing things, engaging in things, and moving in such a way where you are enjoying yourself, okay, and you feel good. So they want you to do that instead of worrying. Like, wait, 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 something's not happening. What's going on? What's Like, don't worry about it. It's going to work out. Forces beyond your control have intervened. Okay, you're safe from harm. All right. And then again, the oracle. Like, I feel like saying what you need to do is revert to your intuition, to your downloads, to spirit, talking to spirit, not paying attention. Because there's just something about you're looking around, you're like, okay, wait a minute, something's up. Like, what's going on? Don't worry about it. Things are good. Don't pay like this the 3D world might have you a little like, ooh, like worried, concerned. They're like, no. When you tap into the energy, though, you don't feel that way. But your mind just doesn't like the idea of not knowing what's going on. And so rely more on your connection with spirit, um, the messages that are coming through to you from spirit. I'm gonna blow my nose, but I'm not gonna do it right here, guys. Okay? Because that would be really gross. And when I tell you I didn't have any issues until I woke up this morning. So it's yes, are the trees blooming massively? Obviously, it's spring. They like sprung this week. No problems whatsoever. Friggin' rain comes in. It's always barometric pressure with me. Anywho, so this could be literally a message in and of itself. But there's obviously some details they want to share. So Ace of Cups, Four of Wands. It's giving like a home that you would love, or a sense of stability or security that you desire that helps you to feel fulfilled. So this probably has something to do with since they're showing me a path being kind of like diverted. It's probably like you have like a goal or some kind of trajectory, and you're like, something's not happening. Um, I feel like you're meant to land somewhere, whether that's a goal, a place, whatever it is. And so there's just a workaround happening. How are you all? Hey, you everybody. Son, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. It's all getting worked out. Okay, that's what I feel like saying to somebody. All getting worked out. Everything's clear. It's still a go. It's still going to be a success. You're destined to succeed. Um, just don't overly focus on if a detail changes about something. Yeah, don't get obsessed with that. The devil card. It's like don't pay attention to the material world as nearly as much as you do what spirit is saying, okay? Hanged man, slight pause, a recalibration, they said. But don't let that send you into that devil energy where you feel like, oh, woe is me, it's all falling apart. Da, 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 da. There's a pattern there. Just don't. Lest you create more delays. I'm like, okay, so basically they want you to stay in this happy energy. Queen of Cups. Stay intuitive, stay open. That's why engaging in things that make you happy, that make you feel lighter, they're saying. Whatever, like playful or lighthearted, whatever that takes. That's where your focus should be. 8 of Cups, because you will be moving away. You will be moving in a particular direction. You will walk away from something. So there is movement here. You'll continue on your path to a goal. But also I feel like saying this is also not telling, like, don't abandon the goal. I'm going to phrase it as a goal because that could be work, projects, that could be relocation, that could be what it's just, we're going to frame it like it's a goal. Like you don't have to walk away from the goal because there's somewhere you're supposed to land. Like you're supposed to end up somewhere. 3 of Cups. This is having the fun, getting out, enjoying yourself. This is what you need to do. Okay? So are we just going to repeat ourselves? That's what I want to know. Because we can end it right here. We could start a whole new reading. They're showing me like somebody walking on the path, but like I feel like I'm an outsider, like I'm watching on TV, and I see somebody walking down a path, and then they just go bloop, bloop, like they walk through a vortex or a portal where things shifted. Um, where it's like a timeline shift, or you walked through some kind of portal, and now how things were supposed to unfold are gonna change just a little bit. And so it's but you didn't see yourself. It's like you don't recognize it. You're just walking until there's a minute where you're like, wait a minute, shouldn't I have shouldn't this have happened? Like what is going on? Like you don't recognize the moment that you bloop. I don't know how to explain it. Like that's how they're giving it, like bloop bloop. But as the observer, I see what's happened. Things are going to look up. There is an end to a difficult situation. There is something about a change of environment because it's taking a trip. There's taking a trip. But if we don't want to go too literal with what it is, it's like there's a change, like changing in the environment. Maybe not repeating the normal haunts, like, or changing of like routine to kind of switch things up a little bit. but definitely for some, taking a trip. News of an exciting new endeavor. News of some sort coming in. Definitely would lend itself to taking a trip. Plans are being revised. Well, no shit. There's more going on than meets the eye. Hence why you can't, like, you're like, wait a minute, it was supposed to, but it's like, no, things are fine. Something's happened. Like a thing has landed on the roadway, so you're just going to take a beep, boop, and go around. There's some fears here, though. For some, it's a fear around money. This feeling of uneasiness because when you had kind of like a trajectory and you knew, like, maybe not all the steps, but the next 5 steps, and because it talks about uncertainty. We have the 5 of Pentacles. There's a sense of like, but now I don't know what's happening. You're in a moment where that might be what the bloop bloop is, because you're like, wait a minute. It looks the same. It looks like we should still be going the same trajectory, but I can tell that we're not. What's going on? And it's like the moment before the next download comes in, so that it's like recalibration on a computer before, like, you're navigating to a new page. Back in the day, for us old folk, it would spin. I don't like, you know what I mean? Or the little timer will keep, the little hourglass will keep flipping. Accept opportunities that are offered. You're a little confused. 7 of Pentacles. Shit. Ain't no 7 Pentacles. It's a 7 of Cups. Complex decision. Don't procrastinate. So what does come in may not feel quite in alignment with what you thought would happen, or whatever this new quote unquote endeavor is. Tell me about the 6 of Swords, please. Like, let's use the analogy I gave at the beginning. Like, oh, you were expected to move, and suddenly there's a bit of a delay. Your truck needs to be fixed before you drive there. And then because of that delay, you get word that something happened with the home that you were supposed to be moving to. And so now you've got to recalibrate. You got to take the next 3 weeks to figure it out, blah, blah, blah. And then in the midst of all of that, you get news of like, hey, why don't we go on a trip? And you're like, are we serious? Like, I've got shit to do. I need to figure some things out. It kind of is like, are we sure? Like, news of something. And they're like, hey, you should do that. We are talking about enjoying ourselves. You may not feel like that should be the priority right now. Like, you need to figure things out because things haven't gone how you thought they would. But I feel as if saying that's already being taken care of. And there's an importance to you enjoying the moment. So you feel like you should be doing more to figure something out. And they're like, actually, no. So if you get invited to do something, please accept the opportunity. If you get invited in, or like, something to that effect, say yes. 5 of Cups. Yeah. Things not turning out how you'd hoped, crying over spilled milk. That's the thing that they want you to do the least. That's why they keep bringing it up. They keep going, please do not do that. That's the Devil card. Please do not go into old habits, old routines, old patterns of, woe is me, shit's not happening. Why isn't it happening? Like, fighting with spirit about things, or fighting with, but I don't have evidence. I don't have to. Stop that shit. I dare I say, spirit feels, I feel like saying grow up. Like, you've been here one too many times. Please stop the shit and just, like, seriously, to get so riled up over your reality when you've had enough opportunities in your life to know exactly what the fuck's happening, that this is actually recalibration, and you know the energy says something else, but you want to throw a fit. It's like, please don't even. Don't even. Just have fun. Just there's something about 3 weeks that keep coming up. I keep using it in so many different examples. So there might be like a 3-week time difference or something like that with something. Um, but it's kind of like just enjoy yourself. Like it feels, oh, I don't know why I wasn't going to use this word. They said it's asinine to get this upset you know what I mean? It's like you're not really where you think you are then if you have to get upset like that is micromanagement. You are micromanaging spirit and they're getting irritated with that shit. You know you're going to get where you need to go. Please stop. Please fucking stop. They're not going to handhold you or babysit you right now. Your job is to make the entire process as enjoyable as possible instead of throwing a fit and focusing on all the things that didn't go how you expected it. Like you should know that the little details will change along the way. But you stop and you throw a fit. Or you have had a history of that every time a detail changes. And then I get the sense that you overinflate it. And I understand things being aggravating and not, being ready for change and shit, but like you are a part of why things slow down. Don't think that you're not. Because then the world has to stop until you get out of that nasty ass energy, because then everything becomes a no for you, is what I'm getting. Everything becomes a no. You're not just mad about this. You're just like, I'm not going to do this. And I swear that's the way that they're making it sound. Like you talk like that. Like you are a butthole. And you could just be talking to yourself. Shit, I don't know. But then you're like, I'm just not. And then you ignore spirit. Then you ignore all the signs. Then you're in, and they're like, you're part of the problem. I just saw somebody do like, somebody look, I have I have people that will tell it to me straight on my spiritual team. Okay. Somebody else has somebody that wants to be like, you're so spiritual, yet um yet you throw a fit like a toddler. Like I heard get over yourself. Okay, so um this is tough love. Just know that if you throw a fit, you are not going to get handheld right now. You fucking know better. You know how to behave differently. So do it. And then when you ask and they what you can do to help this along, and they're telling you to do whatever you can to find enjoyment, to get out, to connect, to feel some sense of pleasure, fulfillment, like because you have to set the tone and stay in that energy, then do it. And if you want to throw a fit and debate and argue about how that's not going to help, well, you will be debating and arguing with yourself because spirit is not going to engage. It literally says crying over spilled milk at the bottom of this. I'm just saying. Gifts of money, time, or effort, new opportunities, receiving loans. Like this is getting resources and assistance, community help, whatever it is that you're needing. So whatever's missing, it's receiving that. So there is a sign that you are going to get what it is that you need, whatever the um, resource is. Okay. Because then comes the chariot movement. Um, I just get forward movement on this. This is like a big move, also. So maybe what was about to happen before was a bunch of little micro movements, or even like, and then this is gonna be like, you know what I mean? That's what it feels like. Um, so whatever is happening in this is you're waiting for something to come to you. It feels like you're waiting for something. Um, I'm gonna ask about that because it leads to the Ten of Cups. Okay, I want to know what the Six of Pentacles is. Son of a biscuit, Adrian. Oh my gosh. What's that got to do with the Six of Pentacles? This is feeling like, so they're bringing these two out. This is what I said you were going through. Like the Eight of Cups on this one talks about an immense desire to move forward, immense desire to move on. I'm done, want to move on. But there's a Three of Swords where it's kind of like our what we think, how we perceive a situation is impacting how we feel about it. Because the swords pierce the heart. And so it's like great sadness, and there's this need to forget, like need to move beyond. I won't say forgive because I don't know necessarily that somebody has to forgive someone. So I don't know if the hindrance in a path was because of somebody else, or something that somebody else did has put an obstacle in your path, or the way that, but it's one of those things where it's like you want to move on so bad, and it's putting you in a position of mentally feeling disconnected and angry and upset and sad. It's impacting your thoughts, or impacting your emotions. um and they want to point that out, which is why they're like, you need to engage in things that make you happy right now. Oh, I don't know how that happened. Like a chunk of this was okay. Abby, not paying attention. What exactly is the Six of Pentacles, please? They don't fucking want to talk about it. They want to keep talking about you and how you are the thing that holds yourself back. Like they want to make an emphasis in saying you constantly, I get what it is. You constantly see yourself as being trapped. And so you create that energy around you. You kick up the dirt and the dust, and then things become unclear, and you don't hear spirit, and you don't da da da. And then you're angry, and then your thoughts are aggravating your emotions, and you like a Tasmanian devil, like you just like a whirlwind inside. And at no point does the circumstances warrant that, but somebody must be, it's all because this should have happened right now. And it's a woe is me kind of attitude. It's this always happens, and there's always a delay. And believe you me, I fucking understand that shit. I understand that feeling of like, oh, of course it would. Of course it would. But it is the devil, the incessant pattern that you have with dramatizing a situation every time it happens, because you're because your desire to fucking change the situation is so great. And so are we ready? Look, Ten of Air. Are we ready to move on so that I can ask a question now? There's a refusal to take action when you are prompted, because you get into a fuck it attitude and screw this shit and I'm not good, and then when it's time, you don't. Like you just don't. No, like no. If you'll bring it to me, I don't know. There's this very. If you are not aware of it, it comes across entitled to spirit or to whoever's on your spiritual team. It's like either you fucking want this or you don't. I feel like it's the idea of a pebble being in your shoe, and that doesn't cause that really, like, it's irritating. It's not that big of a deal. But you make it a big deal because instead of stopping and just dumping the fucking pebble out of your shoe, it's like, I'm not doing that again. Every time I turn around, there's a pebble in my shoe. And another one's just gonna get in it. So I'm just gonna keep fucking moving forward. And it's giving bratty energy. And like you're too old for that shit. This is the way it is. Like they are not mincing words. And so it's kind of like but you know, the longer you leave it in there, the bigger of a deal it feels, the more pain you cause. And that actually, it could cause a spasm in your foot or, a callus to form or, and then all of a sudden, because it's your foot spasms, it triggers the muscle in your calf. And before you know it, you're getting home and your lower back is hurt. Like it's one of those things where you're like, making a mountain out of a molehill. It's giving, I'm willing to do whatever. And then when spirit's like, oh, there's a minor change, you unravel. They can't change that for you. That is your responsibility. You got to take care of that shit. So they're like you are in the moment where you're like, okay. And instead of trying to force the issue and you go, well, I'll just make it happen because I'll do X, Y, and Z. Because I feel like you're also trying to fill in the blanks and like how you can push something forward. And it's like 9 times out of 10 when you do that shit, because you're in this whatever energy, you're fucking up the flow. Could you just stop? Like spirit's gonna tell you when you need to act. And I have a feeling where it's like they have before, and you're like, I'm not doing it. That may not be exactly how you say it. You probably logicize that shit and well, this and this and it's like, damn it. You fucking throw a fit when we say, wait a second. And then when we tell you, okay, go, you're like, you throw. So there's a pattern of this. And they're just gonna call it out. Okay, we're ready to get back? Again, another one about things happening behind the scenes that you can't see. And then the need to like pay attention to your psychic insights. And then it says to release the fears that are holding you back. Every little pebble you look as a reason to regurgitate old fears. All right. The Knight of Pentacles. This would be a trustworthy one, correct? This is one that's solid, trustworthy. Yeah. Instead of micro movements, something is changing to like because I feel like a domino effect, like boop, 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 boop. Like instead of having steps to get somewhere, it's almost like you're on a platform and you just jump down. Because we have here exciting of a new endeavor, something new and exciting, offer something take something that's offered. It is going to be the means or the resource, whatever it is that you need, that's going to propel you forward. And they're just saying you can trust this one, but it comes in really, really fast. So it's events that happen with great speed. So you thought you would have like again something more paced, not even slow, just so it's almost kind of like it's still a solid thing. You thought it would be more like do 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 do, like one step in front of the other, but it's more like a massive leap that's happening because events happen with great speed when it does show up. Okay. We have 3 nights that came out, guys. There's definitely a pivot and change. Um that's 2 in a row. A sudden event that needs immediate attention, times of the essence, that's the Knight of Wands, and then the Knight of Swords, which is a stark contrast, right? It's kind of like instead of in increments, it happens all at once. Events that occur with great speed. Some kind of creative solution. So, good news about financial matters. So, if there is a lull, they're telling you to fill it with fun shit. Make sure that every step, no matter what, from this point forward, it's your job to pull fun, fulfillment, joy into your life. If that has to be your focus. Oh, you mean something's not happening right now? Okay. Well, I'm gonna do X, Y. Like you're intentionally choosing to do things that are enjoyable. That gets you prepped and prepared to be in the energy to say yes to the thing that shows up. If you're in the negative energy where you're like, you'll overthink the shit. I'm not gonna do it. This thing that shows up is the fucking detour. It's the workaround. Okay? Um, somebody's feisty. I also feel like somebody may not be used to spirit talking to them like this. Queen of Wands. Anything else? Son of a biscuit eater. 9 of Wands. Queen of Wands really is unfazed by a lot. She knows she's got something. When she's negatively represented, she is erratic as shit. She interferes with shit. She can pop off and fly off at the handle. But when she's on her shit, she's within her power. She commands the room. She wields the energy, not the opposite way around. 9 of Wands is a bit of a defensive, proactive, reactionary kind of energy at times. So it's like be careful of putting up some kind of a wall. Don't be combative as a result of something not exactly per se, or you not knowing exactly what's about to happen. Because something like this flower is blooming in the middle of the desert. Okay. So something, an opportunity in what feels like the Sahara Desert is going to pop up. Three of Cups. I'm getting a very social energy with this, but a communal energy as well. Um, if you feel slightly isolated right now, you probably tend to do that and hole yourself up when you get into this energy because you're irritated and blah, blah, blah. You need to not do that. You need to be more open, do more to enjoy life right now. Indulge, revelry and indulgence. That's what it says here. Okay. And if the opportunity that arises seems a bit frivolous, still take it. You're like, oh, like there's no way. I really need to be focused on some other don't do that. Again, Knight of Pentacles. Something very solid comes from that. Something is pulling you in. There's a frequency. You may seem stationed. So this is what it is. It's like before the little micro increments was you moving towards something. It's almost as if that little bloop bloop, that portal, that vortex that almost like lets you time hop, jump timelines. You kind of like bloop bloop past whatever obstacle there was. So you're expecting to see something in front of you, and it's like spirit almost like picked you up and put you down. So like, no, we've put you on so you're beyond the detour. That time hop was the detour. It was, but you're not recognizing something because in your head, the next steps were going to be this. And they're like, nope, you're there already. And you're like, I don't fucking get it. What? Like, what's happening? Where did it? They're like, just chill. You're about to see. And so this thing comes in. It's almost like it's moving closer to you. Like you hopped through a time portal to get closer to it, and now it's coming towards you. Because that's what I'm getting here. Like with this frequency, you're the Queen of Wands. You're now pulling it the rest of the way. You were expecting some kind of journey towards something, and it's like you portaled through something where now it's coming towards you. It's seeking you out because it's picked up on your frequency. See? Coming out of the speaker, there's something being sent out. I think you enjoying yourself in whatever capacity it is, in whatever way it is, actually strengthens your signal to pull something closer to you. This opportunity, this thing. The one thing that can interfere with that would be the Three of Swords. You getting all distraught in the head. But I thought, and then your emotions follow. Yeah, because you're like, where's this? Where? There's this question mark. Where's this new beginning? Where's it? Page of Pentacles again. Five of Wands. It's a whirlwind. It's a lot happening at once. I'm sure you can handle it. That's the way that with the chariot on the bottom. I feel like the incremental movements, what was going to prepare you for the actual change itself. Something about being so isolated, so stationary, so like in the liminal space for so long. You're like they were gonna kind of incrementally move you forward to kind of like get you back up to pace to dealing with like a busy life and forward movement. It was gonna be like boop 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 boop, almost like a preparation stage. But something happened to act like it was gonna be like and so they just portaled you through, and they're like, it's gonna feel a little bit more of a quick shift. It feels a little hand-holdy, like they were gonna kind of like ease you into being the rhino spirit, where things are like because you're just not used to going that speed. And it was like, it reminds me of my son where before he runs. And because stretching isn't enough, like there needs to be dynamic movement. There needs to be a warm up. You've got to get the juices going first. And so he'll run a mile before he runs 5 miles. And I'm like, but it actually helps. This is like getting to the meat. Like you usually get there 2 hours ahead of time, but now you're there 30 minutes beforehand. And so all you got time to do is stretch and you're like, boom, 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 boom. You hit the road running. So there was something about that incremental micro dosing of whatever it was going to get you more and more and more and more. And now, so like if you were thinking like, I have steps, again, the steps, like I'm going to do, and then this step, and then this step. And they're like, you've done skipped like 5 steps. Period. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, but you can't tell that you've skipped 5 steps. You just know, shouldn't this be happening by now? Shouldn't this be happening by now? And it's like warp speed. Something warped you. You warped through something, and now this thing is equally moving. It can pick up on your energy. This goal, I don't know what it is, but it's like 2 objects being pulled in together, kind of like gravity, like like the moon and the earth. Like it's something. There's a pull, and so now is not the time to pump the brakes with whatever this shit is that you tend to pull in the past because something looks different or it's gone a different way. Okay. We're about to wrap this shit up. 9 of Swords. Put your defenses down because you're like, I don't know what's going on. I just heard too bad. You will. King of Wands. It's the idea of you are so far along on this trajectory, there's no turning back. They ain't got time for you to pull this stunt. It's time to have fun. I don't care if you know what's happening. I don't care if you skipped a step or if you, and you're, don't get into like, oh, does this mean 10 more steps? No, Jesus, God, just have fun. Like it is your duty and your job right now. And I don't care, like, for example, we didn't do a ton of crap over the spring break that really costs money. My son and I had something every single day. Like one day we said, we're going to go. I was like, we're not going to stay in the house. We're not going to sit and rot on spring break. We got to get out in the sun. And he was like, yeah. And so like one day we chose all the stores we haven't been to in like 8 months. You know what I mean? We went to At Home and we went to Michael's. We went to Barnes and Nobles. I know some people can't imagine not going there for that long, but like we just hit up all these places and he was having a blast just because it was like, when you haven't been somewhere in so long, it feels really good. It's like changing up the routine. One day we went and had a picnic at my father's graveyard. He had been asking to go see him. We packed a lunch. We had Caesar salad with a rotisserie chicken, and then we had a carrot cake afterwards. And and we went there and we enjoyed it. And he got greasy, which he loved. And it was like there was little things. One day we went and got ice cream and walked around downtown. And he loves finding new little nooks and crannies. And so we kept looking at all these different places because they've got some new shops and they move things around. And instead of driving there and driving back, we just took our time. Like it was this leisurely pleasure. Like this little child was like, like so there is a sense in change up the routine. Don't do the same shit. Try something different. Like, but something that would be pleasurable. Like get yourself in that malleable, juicy place. It doesn't take rocket science. I just heard. And that's the idea, is that because things are on I heard it's not really a crash, but it's a crash course. It is moving. It's flying forward. They just said it is flying forward. You don't realize that. You think like all the movement that you were supposed to do, you've already done because something happened. You went bloop, bloop, and you time warped. You step through a vortex. So the movements that you needed to do to move towards something, you've done. You just now need to be open and receptive because now the thing, the goal post, whatever it is moving towards you. And the one thing you could do to fuck it up is be in the Three of Swords, Eight of Cups. And, I need to hurry up. It needs to hurry up. Um, I'm trapped. Blah 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 blah. The Eight of Swords. So when it does arrive, you're like, no, I was supposed to do all this stuff. You did it. Life's about to move forward now. I heard get over yourself. So you're the King of Wands. You're on a trajectory. The King of Wands is like there's no slowing him down. There's no distracting him. It's forward movement, singularly focused, follow through, gonna be successful. It's a done deal kind of a situation. So Knight of Wands again. The Knights keep coming. We have the Knight of Pentacles twice. We have the Knight of Wands twice. And the Queen of Swords. You need to be open and receptive for when this arrives. Do not have that fucking sword drawn. Because you're so in your head and you're like, oh, what's going on? How I did it? Stop that shit. There is a rapidness to this. It shows up and then it's like boom, 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 boom. A lot of activity. That's where the Five of Wands is coming in. It's like there's a lot going on. Life itself picks up. Three of Pentacles. Once this arrives, something can grow. Something happens. Like life itself seems to be onward and upward. Things are happening in your Queen of Cups. You just need to stay in your oracle energy. Okay? You need to stay the oracle. Again, when you get fighting over here, that gets shut down. When you get into the Three of Swords and it needs to hurry up a minute, like you, bloop, bloop, you turn off that little receptor. You need to be in a receptive energy, in a state of allowance, in an open energy. I keep sticking my hand. Ace of Pentacles. This is this new path, taking up root and becoming reality. The book that the High Priestess has is coming. What was hidden is now being revealed. It is starting. It is happening. It is unfolding before your eyes. You had certain things that you were holding on to as like evidence that things were moving forward, and you time warped past those. So you're welcome, is what Spirit just said. There's some smart asses right now. You're welcome. Alrighty then. Okay, so I feel like we could beat a dead horse. Spirit is like not wanting to. So we're gonna leave it there. I hope this message finds whoever it's meant for. I hope you heed what they're saying. And just know that something is coming towards you now. And life is just gonna like that. So alrighty. I hope everybody has a fantastic, wonderful day. And I will see you guys at the next read.